Right, so damn you WWE. I had written an entire why video, and you went and screwed me over by changing the story at the last minute. But actually, when I thought about it, it kind of helped. Because if you've been kind enough to listen to my rants over the last few weeks, you know I've been going, it's okay that Cody Rhodes didn't win at WrestleMania, because I still think he's going to be the guy. Now, I do totally believe that, but I actually think that WWE had another master plan, and it was right there in full sight. Why? Here's why. Here is the deal though, sit down, go grab a cup of coffee. Again, when I sat down to write this one, it was all gonna be about one person, one man, one individual that basically straps WWE to his back each and every single night, and that man is Seth Rollins. I mean, Seth is basically Mr. WWE at the moment because he does whatever he's told, he always has amazing matches, and you can just rely on him. And do you know how important that is to have a performer like that in your company? Well, let's do the math. That's me on my mathematics machine. Oh, it's come back with very important. I mean, you could book Rollins versus my nan and he would figure out a way to make it work, which is doubly impressive. My nan is dead. It's why he was chosen as the man to go into that amazing 3-match run with Cody Rhodes, even though we had that Hell in a Cell thing when the American Nightmare had a torn pec. And I tell you this, if Cody had to take on Ryback, no disrespect for him, but it probably wouldn't have gone ahead. But because Seth Rollins is such a masterful tactician and technician, everybody knew they could get it done, and they did. It's a masterpiece. It also helped put Cody Rhodes on the map if you weren't aware who he was because you were so obsessed with WWE. But it also kind of made you go, well, I wonder what we're going to do with Seth now. Because don't forget, even when Roman Reigns was beating everybody, the one individual he didn't really beat because it was a DQ and there was a bunch of shenanigans, well, I don't need to tell you, but in case you've got confused, it was Seth Rollins. I mean, who were you thinking of? Doink? It wasn't Doink. So all of this has now sparked the conversation about what is next, and originally I was actually going to pitch to you that maybe WWE's master plan was holding off to WrestleMania 40, Cody was never going to win the championship, and actually we would get to that seminal show, and we would do Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship and tie into everything with the Shield. And given that it is an anniversary WrestleMania, I was like, well, that does tie into the history, and that was the point of the Shield, so maybe that would be a really good idea. I tell you this, I actually think it could still happen. Now, of course, we do need to take a little bit of a detour, because obviously recently on Raw, Triple H walked out and said, I'm here to make an announcement, and he revealed that somebody is about to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And as we talked about on Ups and Downs, it was a bit like, is this some kind of consolation prize? Because nobody can beat Roman Reigns? And I was like, yeah, that is the case. Once again, there was one dude who could make it work. I'm not going to remind you who it is. Because look at it like this. I am still going to bet the bank that Cody and Roman end up on the same show. Now, by the time you've seen this video, that will have been made apparent, so you can go in the comments and say, ha ha, Simon, you were so right, or ha ha, Simon, you were so wrong. And that way, at SummerSlam or WrestleMania or wherever the flub you want to do it, Cody Rhodes can complete the story. He wins the championship that his dad never got. We all cry, and it'll be wonderful. We don't have to worry about WrestleMania 39 anymore. When we get to Night of Champions 2, though, somebody does have to win this new trinket, and that's what I want to talk to you about today mostly. I think it is going to be Seth Rollins, and I think it has been Seth Rollins for a long-ass time. Because there was a plan, I mean, it's been rumoured so much, there's no smoke without fire. Then at WrestleMania 39, we were going to do Roman Reigns versus The Rock on Sunday night, but our night one main event would have been something like Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for a brand new championship. So once again, Raw could have a champion and SmackDown could have a champion, and we go back to the stupid brand split. It's a different video for a different day. So Seth's name has been caught up in this for ages, and what happened on that Raw where this was introduced? Who cut the big promo about the title? It was Rollins, and he did such a damn good job. He was like, Roman Reigns, he don't fight, he wants to be a part-timer. Well, I want to fight, I want to win that thing, and I want to defend it here, there, and everywhere. Right away, you're like, oh my gosh, Seth, that was brilliant. You're right. It's not a consolation prize. It's the best damn thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't think this has been by accident. Like, I do think the deadlines have been moved a little bit, and why we decided to pull the trigger now, I do not know. But if you do make Seth Rollins this brand new champion, he has so much logic to turn it into something important, because all he needs to do is say, hey ho, look at everybody else that Roman has faced. He beat all of them. But he didn't beat me, So it's no surprise that I am new champion, and also Roman, one day it is going to be you and you better watch your ass. Now obviously WWE aren't going to unify these titles again, and if they do, I'm going to pull my hair out, because if you make a decision, just make sure you keep heading down that path. You can't keep being so wishy-washy, but you absolutely could do a match, probably at Survivor Series, where one champion, Seth Rollins, takes on the other champion, Roman Reigns. And maybe by that point, the head of the table won't even have the title anymore, but do you know who wins that thing? Seth Rollins. And then do you know what Seth Rollins can do? He can turn up on Raw or SmackDown or wherever his show is and say, remember this championship that's only been around for 6 months? Well, haven't I turned it into quite the trinket? We'll be like, Seth, you have, you're a lovely jubbly man. So while it kind of does feel crazy and it does kind of feel like it came out of nowhere, I have totally changed my mind on this and I actually think it does tie into WWE's grand plan, which is doubly impressive because again, I got a script over there that is me talking about WrestleMania 40 and Roman Reigns versus Seth, but actually I just retroactively fitted it to what WWE did do. I was like, wait, this makes even more sense. Now, of course, a lot of this is based on speculation because we don't know what's going to happen at that Saudi Arabia pay-per-view, premium live event. But right now, who else are we going to pick? Drew McIntyre? I mean, he has to win it eventually, but again, there's flaws to that. Sheamus should be going after the Intercontinental Champion. It's not right time for Austin Theory. And if you did do it with Bobby Lashley, that would be okay. But Bobby Lashley has been involved in so many feuds that never ended, especially that one with Brock Lesnar. I just think Rollins has more of an upside. And also, the guy deserves it. I can't even remember the last time he was WWE champion. That's ridiculous. I don't know why he sat here in my hand. The other potential it does open the door for is finally just tweaking Seth's character a little bit. Now, do not get me wrong. I love the whole whoa visionary stick, but it is going to have a shelf life. Eventually, you are going to have something different. So again, if you do crown him with this title, he can just take a few steps into more traditional babyface territory. He can be a little bit more serious Sam when he wants to be, and I think he will connect with the crowd, because don't forget, he was doing this back in 2019. Then we had that stupid Hell in a Cell match. We had to rehab Rollins, and surprise, surprise, he was able to do it. But now I think we can go back to that kind of guy and he can just tear through the entire roster. And look, we left Roman Reigns as champion for 1,000 days. When it comes to Rollins, he at least has to hold it till 2024. At the very minimum, look at my face, I'm not kidding. I also think it's one of those maneuvers that actually would make me feel better about the brand split, because as we've talked on other videos, I just think it's a lame idea. Like, WWE is up year on year, be it ratings or money. They are probably bigger now than they have been in absolutely ages. So why you would go back to a model that was kind of hit and miss, I don't know. There's also rumours that we may start doing Raw-specific pay-per-views, premium live events, and SmackDown-specific premium live events. I don't need that unless it's going to go January's Raw and February's SmackDown. When we tried to fit in two into a 4-week period, it was like there's too much wrestling on television. And that was before the rise of AEW. Everyone just needs to calm the hell down. Anyway, moving that to one side, I actually think the WWE has put themselves in a wonderful position, but only if Cody Rhodes joins the same show as Roman and he wins that belt, and then Seth Rollins goes and wins the other one. Also, do you know what we can do there? If Rhodes does obtain it before Survivor Series, and you want to do Raw versus SmackDown, then you can do Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes, match 4. The championships don't have to be on the line because we've already proved that in the past. Seth Rollins can get one of his wins back. Cody is still your champion, and then you can build to that feud later down the line. I know, it sounds so simple and yet there's so many politics, but do I want to see this? We'll talk to the finger, because that's always a weird thing to do. Finger says yes. The finger always knows. Now, of course, somebody like Finn Balor is just going to win the damn thing, but I tell you this, while that doesn't make any sense storyline, I think the narrative I just told is far better. Am I going to get mad that Finn Balor wins a championship? No. Same with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And in fact, if we can all try and manifest that when we do get to WrestleMania 40, it is Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens for that championship, and that's the night we crown Sam, well, I think that will make me feel warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum, plus I'll have a tear in my eye. It's always good to have a tear in your eye. Means you're having a good time. What? Now there is a lot to unpack there, so please do go in the comments and let me know your thoughts, and you can tie into my original idea, which was going to be Roman versus Seth at WrestleMania 40. I mean, do we do it now, or is that totally off the table? Then like the video, share the video, and subscribe. You will see some other videos on the screen right now. Make sure you do the bushwhacker dance and click one of them to see what you do get. Also, whatculture.com, you can read articles, you can read all kinds of things and news updates, and of course we're on social media. What Culture WWE, Simon Miller 316. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for watching me as always, and in case you need some kind of full stop for this video, I just think Seth Rollins is super duper good. And when somebody is super duper good, you give them a pat on the back like Barry Horowitz, and a good way to do that is with a brand new world title. So here's hoping, fingers crossed, tootsie toes crossed. See you soon.